Martha, do you have anything? No. Okay, so there's no board or committee reports, no citizens' concerns, no public hearings. Town administrators report.
Okay, I wanted to let you know that Doug Packer has been appointed, thank you very much, to the Coastal Erosion Task Force by Governor Patrick. And the goal of this commission is to develop a strategy and recommendations to reduce, minimize, and eliminate the magnitude and frequency of coastal erosion and its adverse impacts on property, infrastructure, public safety, and beaches and dunes. So that's quite an honor that he's been asked to serve on this. I should be very proud of him. Quite a blue ribbon panel. Also wanted to remind you that the first draft of the lease agreements are in your Dropbox for your review to take a peek at. It was a very kind of rough draft. So when you have an opportunity to look at those, then I'll get that on the agenda for execution. Any comments, let me know any comments, concerns you might have. Also in your drop boxes are I mentioned last week, the proposed changes to the Town Administrator Act that we had discussed at previous meetings relative to the concerns raised about the shellfish commissioners and the potential for a conflict of interest, so we were going to consider making them appointed versus the elected positions.
Okay.
I wanted to notify you that the snow and ice deficit is currently around $29,000. However, that does not include the last 3 storms, so it'll be significantly higher than that. I also have started compiling all of the budget requests and put together the preliminary budget model, if you will, looking at the proposed revenues for fiscal year 2015. And based on the 50-50 revenue sharing model that we've utilized for the past, well, this will be our 3rd budget cycle, in all likelihood, we would be looking at an override proposal, somewhere between $250,000 and $300,000. Now, that is a worst-case scenario, and you know, the regional school budgets aren't finalized at this point in time. The Whittier School budget isn't finalized at this point in time. So as the numbers are approved by the committee, then I'll revise the figures, and as we get probably closer to the end of March, we'll have a better idea of exactly what we'll be looking at. So I just wanted to, you know, have you start thinking about that. Okay?
All right.
All right. We have 4 one-day liquor licenses for protection number 2. All the paperwork in, Kathy?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and they'll be on March 1st, May 10th, June 7th, and June 14th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We have a letter of support from
Historic.
the grant application for Historic New England, and I'll read it. This is coming from the Historic New England, it's coming from the Board of Selectmen to support Historic New England. We're pleased to submit this letter of support for Historic New England's Massachusetts Preservation Projects Fund application for preservation of the Sweat Ilsley House, 4 High Road, located within the National Register of Historic Places, Newbury Historic District. This distinctively evolved Sweat Ilsley House was Historic New England's first architectural acquisition in 1911. Built by Stephen Sweat, the house remained essentially unaltered until about 1720, when it was enlarged into an atypical fashion, changing the direction of the house from east-west to north-south access. The Sweat Ilsley House has also become a center for the community over the last 5 years. In addition to regular open hours as part of the 17th Century Saturdays program, Sweat Ilsley's long life as a tavern is celebrated at the popular Tales and Ales event held 5 times per season. Education programs utilize the space regularly, and it's become a favorite designation for group tours to the area. The Sweat Ilsley House has seen visitation triple in the past 6 years and is a vital part of the Newbury and Newburyport community. Today, however, the Sweat Ilsley House is subject to significant water penetration due to the harsh coastal climate. The existing wood shingle roof is leaking and is at the end of its lifespan, and many of the mortar joints in the 3 chimneys have failed. In 2009, an extensive site assessment was conducted outlining the initial needs of the property. The result of the study indicated that the roof required immediate replacement. The 3 chimneys required repointing and reflashing, and the wood gutters and downspouts required repairs to be functional. The grant and matching share will fund a much-needed scope of work to diminish or eliminate threats to the structure, assuring the survival of this remarkable representation of 17th century architecture as well as the over 100 years of historic New England's history. Your consideration of the Historic New England's Massachusetts Preservation Projects Fund application, round 20, is greatly appreciated. Sincerely, Joe Story, Chairman of the Board of Selectmen. All right, motion?
Accept. Motion to approve the letter, but I have a question.
Second?
Second.
Okay.
The matching funds, where are they coming from for the grant? Any clue?
Nothing to do with the town. It's through Historic New England.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay. All in favor of this letter?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Have you got an original for me to sign, Kathy? Yes, I do. Okay, I'll sign it after the meeting. All right, we have a Class 2 license for William Pierce doing business as Willie P's Classics at 86 Newburyport Turnpike, used in classic cars and motorcycles. And it's a standard Class 2 license. It's going into 86 Newbury Turnpike is the place that's been several car dealers over the past few years. Okay.
This is a new one?
This is new. It's a new business going in there.
Don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
Motion to approve.
All right, I'll second it.
All right, any other discussion, questions on it?
Oh.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good luck to them.
Yeah. Okay, we have a notice.
Dog hearing.
For a dog hearing, and this was brought up by Carol. Karen Festa, 48 Moody Street, Byfield. Dear Ms. Festa, this is to notify you that a complaint in writing under the provisions of the General Laws, Chapter 140, Section 157, having been made concerning a dog's name is Freckles, licensed, owned, or harbored by you, you are hereby notified that on Tuesday, March 11th, the Board of Selectmen of the Town of Newbury will hold a public hearing at the Town Hall, 25 High Road, Newbury, Mass. At 7:30 to determine whether or not an order should be entered concerning the restraint or disposal of such dog as the board may deem necessary. Whereof fail not to appear and present such evidence as you may have to show cause why such dog should not be restrained or disposed of in accordance with Chapter 140, Section 157 of the General Laws of Massachusetts. Newbury Board of Selectmen. Motion?
Do you want a motion and then questions, or?
Yes, yeah, motion, second, then motion, second?
Yeah.
Okay, question?
Yeah.
This came to us as a result of,
The letter attached.
The letter behind it.
right, I saw that, but this came to us on request of Carol? Or how did this?
We are the hearing authority.
Hearing authority on dog complaints.
Okay.
She put together, she got the complaint and passed it on.
I have the backup information on it, and it's in your Dropbox, so.
Now, just one question, because I don't know the procedure. So, one person can ask to have the Board of Selectmen have a public hearing on a dog? That's Mass General Law?
Yes,
All right, all right.
and it was a
So-
dog, right?
I saw all the, history on my iPad, so.
So this just gets mailed to Johnny Festa, I'm sorry, and he just comes in front of us and we put his dog on notice, I guess. Okay,
All right,
gotta vote on it.
vote. All in favor?
All right,
Good. All right. Business renewals, we have Schneller BMW Performance at 26 Middle Road, and Pert Lowell Company at Land's End.
motion to approve both.
Second.
Any questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, these minutes were the same ones you sent us, Kathy?
There.
Okay, any motion for us?
Motion to accept them as,
Okay,
Just checking, I was at that one, yep. Okay.
all right. Questions, deletions? No, all in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Okay. And, what do we have, one more thing, I think.
That's it.
That's it. No communications that I know of. Do we have warrants to sign?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
Meeting updates. I went to the school committee meeting 2 weeks ago, I guess it was. And there's another one tomorrow night. They're starting to get heavy into discussion of the budget. The preliminary one that they presented last time would be an increase to Newbury about 5.56% over last year's. So we'll go and listen tomorrow night and see what they've got to say.
Two.
Any other updates or anything?
No.
Didn't you go someplace?
Been a lot of places, but it's okay.
All right. All right,
Need Jeff to sign this one.
motion?
I move we enter into executive session to discuss strategy with
Yep, it's quick.
You got to adjourn.
Oh.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, before you do that, I have a question. My name is Rich Marks. I live in Longbrook Road in Byfield. And I was at the meeting 2 weeks ago where there was a long discussion about the Larkin Road Dam.
Yep.
And it was fairly heated and lots of pros and cons were discussed. At the end of the discussion period, there seemed to be no resolution. It wasn't tabled, you didn't vote on it, nothing seemed to happen, you just moved on to the next subject. I'm wondering, having reread the report once again myself, it seems to me that the science is outstanding and leaves little room for questioning as far as what is going to happen with the dam. And I know even Jeff Walker was referred to some new knowledge or maybe a new perspective that he had gained in hearing this information once again. And I felt the same way because I was around when we did it the first time. Back then, there were a lot more monies available for funding, and it seemed to me from what Ben Cahagan, I don't recall the other gentleman's name who was here, but they said that now, this time around, we could, at best, maybe get 50% funding. So my question is, where are we at? Have you discussed it? Is anything going to happen towards resolution on the dam?
The purpose of the last meeting was to give Ben a chance to come give a presentation of what he had done. And there was nothing about, there was no formal thing about moving to remove the dam, keep the dam, or whatever. And it was a presentation thing. So that was the purpose of it.
Okay,
And that's what we were successful in doing, I think.
yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
he was very successful.
Yep.
So then, is there any way that a citizen such as myself can raise this question so that you would once again reconsider the stand of doing nothing and waiting until we have possibly a catastrophe? I know Doug Packer was,
Happens.
well, I understand that, but I believe Doug Packer was in agreement with them that the dam will fail, and it will probably fail when we have the next high water event, in which case the town will be completely liable, I would imagine.
It's not gonna fail on the next high water event. We've had high water events for well over a century there. And I've seen that dam since I was a kid, and that crack has been there since I was a kid. So I really don't think that dam is gonna go away. There's a lot of dirt piled behind it.
There is?
If you just took the concrete out, I think it would still stay there. There's that much behind it. I'm being facetious, but.
Yes.
I do think we should address the issue of the fishways, yes, and try to find somebody to fix those. I agree with that. But as far as removing the dam, I'm staying steadfast the way I did the last time they came in front. We have Byfield Water adamantly against it.
Yes, I know we do.
They have a well downstream. We
Yeah.
really have to listen to those folks. The fire department itself is against it. They all weigh in. Those folks are the ones that really work with it. That's my opinion. I'm just one vote here on the board.
Right.
so
No, I
can't speak
underst-
for the board.
I
This is
understand,
my
and
opinion.
and I appreciate your opinion. One relevant point is, as I was leaving the meeting that night, I asked Mr. Colby, I believe, and one other gentleman with him, if they had read the report. And they hadn't. And furthermore, they said they didn't care what was in the report. Be that as it may, it just seems to me, once again, we're disregarding the science. It seemed very, very plain, very obvious. Everyone else was in agreement. Something should be done before we have to spend a lot more money picking up the pieces and doing remediation and whatever else might be necessary.
Well, thank you for sharing your concern with us.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you got one more to sign.
Oh, did I miss one? All right,
And then-
thanks. I did too.
Yep. All right,
Want to sign
No.
these before we go?
yeah,
This top one is the lease for the, Community Arts Center that you.
that we
didn't
voted
sign
on and never
last
signed,
week.
yeah.
So, actually, all three of you voted for it, so all three of you should sign it.
They closed, aye.
Oh. Oh, it's quiet.
Do you have the lease agreement?
Yeah.
They've got that, okay.
Went down that way.
Actually, we
Yep,
can,
there
we
it
can
is.
just do it right here, right? The executive session, kick Caleb out.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
have to read this.
I'll
thing.
read-
We have to adjourn this
No,
meeting.
you can't adjourn this meeting. If you adjourn, you can't go into.
Can't we
executive
reopen?
session.
Then,
Oh, no.
then
Okay.
can we be signing these during executive session?
You can-
Yeah.
Then, I move, Caleb, you listening?
Yeah.
I move we enter into executive session to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining for DPW contract because an open meeting may have detrimental effect on the bargaining position of this body. We will need a roll call vote. I will do mine first, which is Walker, yes.
Story,
Story, yes.
There.
Yes.
And
I
this
will
meeting-
second that long-winded motion.
This meeting will not reconvene at the conclusion of the executive session.
Okay.